Just put this on personal hotspot also. I don't even know if that can connect to this. Doesn't know it.
Radha Vinod Bihari's back on.
Okay. Dandavat Pranam.
But I don't know if anyone's here yet. They're back.
Hare Krishna. Sorry about that. So it's starting another one now. Wait, is there a new one?
I had to start a new one. It only gave me the option to save it. Sorry, dear Vaishnavas. Problem with internet.
We told the internet person before we began, and they turned it on in the middle, so now we are experiencing...
That's okay, at least it's on. Good things are happening. It's good.
Hare Krishna. So these very young gopis, quite young.
Wait a couple minutes because not everyone is back.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. She said wait a couple of minutes.
It's fine, I think it's good now.
Okay. So these very young gopis, they were performing intense austerities during this month. It's cold in Vrindavan in the month of November. Now it's December. But this year is a little different because of Purushottam month, so everything has been extended. But anyhow, in the Yamuna River, they were doing austerity, intense austerities, eating very, very simple, and doing intense austerities for what purpose? These young gopis wanted to have Krishna as their husband. And so they were praying to Katyayani Mahamayi, Mahayogindranishri, Nanda Gopam Sutam Devam, Patim Me Kurute Namaha. That please, Katyayani, you have the power of removing all obstacles. You can create so many difficulties and remove so many difficulties. Whatever you do, please bless us with this one thing. Nanda Gopam Sutam, the son of Nanda Mahārāja. Please make him our Pati. Pati means so many things. Pati means maintainer. Pati means Lord and Master, but they were actually praying to have Krishna as their husband. So this is the mood of those gopis who were doing those austerities at that time. And because the elderly gopis had already attained perfection in their relationship with Krishna, not as husband, but as paramour, these young gopis took shelter of those elderly gopis, and they were praying to Krishna. Praying to Katyayani. So, praying to Katyayani, after some time, then we know that Krishna, he is known as Hari. Hari means he who steals. So really, he took their hearts, he took their everything. And you can read about this pastime in Krishna book or from our acharyas. How Krishna, he has stolen the hearts and everything of those who were offering their hearts, their body, mind, soul, and everything at the lotus feet of Krishna. So when our Srila Gurudev would take us to the place that we were going to go, he would tag a little word in there, upa, interestingly. Katyayani Mahamayi, Mahayogindranishri, Nanda Gopam Sutam Devim, Upapatim Me Kurute Namaha. Because for us, aspiring sadhakas, aspiring for a very high goal, what is the aspiration of those who are coming in the line of Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī? Do we want to be the gopi friends of Srimati Radhika, like Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Champakalata, Tungavija, Induleka, Sudevi Rangadevi? Is that our goal and aspiration? Is that the goal of the Rupanuga Vaishnavas? I'm looking for a yes or no answer. First one to put the correct answer gets 1,000 points and 5 samosas and a burfi. Is our goal to meet with Krishna personally and to engage in personal rasa with Krishna? Yes or no? Thank you. No. Wow. Okay. Everyone here is very learned. Well studied. Great. Why not? What is our goal? Today, Bhaktivedānta Prabhu posted something, meditation. What was that meditation? What anyone should ask Krishna. If Krishna were to stand in front of you, and I'm paraphrasing the words of our Srila Gurudev, if Krishna himself were to come and stand in front of you and ask you, what would you like? I will give you anything. What should our prayer be? Our prayer should be, Gurudev gave us Śrī Radha Prarthana. Kripayati yadi Radha Vadita Sheshabadha. Kimaparam Shishtam Pushti Maryadayor me Yadi Batati Chakinchit Smeraha Soditashri Dvijabaramana Punktya Mukti Shukyaptadakyam Shyama Sundar Shikanda Shekara Smeraha Samurali Manohara Radhika Risikamang Kripanidhe Swapriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru. Oh Krishna, if you can give me anything, anything at all, I don't want any lesser thing. I don't want anything else. What do I want? Please make me a kinkari, a maidservant, at the feet of your dear, most beloved Srimati Radhika. And Raghunath Das Goswami, who is our Prayojan Acharya, the Acharya who brings us to perfection, the best of the Rupanugas, who is bringing us and basically he's leading the path of those who are following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami is the one who is showing us the path to perfection, Prayojan. What is he saying? Adabjayos tabavinavaradasameva. So, in the last two lines, he's saying, Sakyayate, he's praying to Srimati Radhika. Again and again, I'm offering pranam to that position as your Sakhi. Means who's meeting with Krishna personally. But then Srila Gurudev adds, but I do not want any lesser thing. What do I want? The only taste I have, the only attraction I have, the only thing I want. Dasyayate mama rasostu satyam. The only thing, in truth, that I desire and want is to be your dasi. Radha dasyam is our goal. So, what these gopis were doing, this is for them. And today I heard a darshan from our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, because today is the first day of this Katyayani Vrat. So I was looking through Vedabase, I was looking through Acharya Vedabase, I was listening and receiving so much from so many devotees. And in this darshan, Shyamarani Didi, Jadurani Didi, is asking our Srila Gurudev about this Katyayani Vrat. And Srila Gurudev said, none of our Rupanuga Acharyas are performing this Vrat. He said none of them, and he named so many. Rup, Sanatan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivedānta Thakur. None of our Rupanuga Acharyas are performing this Vrat. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Means all of those who are aspiring for Rupa Manjari Anugatya, who want to take shelter of the moods of loving service to Sri Radha that Sri Rupa is awakening. He said, no, none of our acharyas are performing this vrat. He said, so we do not cross. It means step over their heads. We do not cross our acharyas. What our Goswamis have given, what our acharyas have given, then we follow that. And he was saying that what those gopis have done, they have already taken birth in Braj from the womb of gopis. And they're performing this vrat in their siddha stage. Siddha means already they have taken that birth in Vrindavan during the pastimes of Krishna, and they're aspiring to meet with Krishna. So that is for them, that is not for us. If we superimpose our position, current position, onto what they are doing, there's a word for that in our Vaishnava dictionary. To superimpose our current mundane position onto that transcendental thing, which is not even within the upasana of those who are aspiring to be Rupanuga. It's not within the practices of those who are aspiring to be in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. So this superimposition of myself at this point into that transcendental realm, which is also not in line with our upasana. Hare Krishna? Did anyone write it? No. It's not favorable. If we superimpose the mundane into the spiritual, then this is called prakrita sahajya. If I'm jumping in where I don't belong in that transcendental realm. So these pastimes are being told to us so that we can remember and glorify and see, especially their determination. What is their determination? And we can actually benefit from them by that determination. Just like Prahlad's goal and aspiration is not our goal and aspiration in essence. Because Prahlad is not serving Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. That's not his eternal function. His eternal function is serving the Lord, but he has Aishvarya Gyan. So he understands that God is Atmaram and Aptakam, doesn't need anything, completely self-satisfied, has no desires outside of himself, but he just glorifies the Lord constantly, always chanting the names of Krishna. Matirna Krishna, always chanting the names of Krishna. So this is Prahlad's nature and function. And yet we glorify him in that relationship so much because of his nishtha, that no matter what happened to him, he didn't give up his resolve to continue chanting the holy names of the Lord. And so from all of these divine personalities, we can beg from them, what you have that can help me toward my goal. Toward my goal, please bless me with what you have that can help me toward my goal. And so when we see the intense activities of these young gopis, how they were doing such intense austerity, standing in Jamuna's water up to here in the winter, barely eating anything and praying desperately, not only at that time, but for all of the time that came up to that time. What kind of one-pointed, exclusive mood did they have to attain their goal? So we can pray to them, can you please be merciful to us and give us the inspiration in our heart that we can have that, at least that kind of intense absorption that we can also endeavor toward our goal, right? Toward our goal. My goal is not necessarily the same, but what you have, that conviction, that unbreakable nishtha, that mood which is so strong that it attracted Krishna to come and steal your heart and everything. Can you please bless me with some of that intensity that I can also have this kind of conviction toward my particular goal, where Lalita Saki Sri Rupa will engage us in the service of Shri Radha Krishna Jugala. So Srila Gurudev explained it like this, that is not our process, but it is definitely glorified in all Shastras. And so we glorify and honor it, but we do not cross or add or adjust what our Goswamis have given us. They have extracted everything and given us everything in such a way that it becomes a scientific process. As our Srila Prabhupada would say, Krishna consciousness is a scientific process, meaning if you follow it as the great knowers of truth or Tattvadarshis have given it, without any unnecessary addition or adulteration or anything like that, or unnecessary opposition. Follow as our Mahājans have given us. Mahājano yena gata sapanta. Follow the path of the Mahājans, then for sure and for certain we will attain that goal. As you're doing any scientific experiment, if you follow exactly, properly, you will attain the correct outcome. If you don't follow properly, when I was in university, our chemistry teacher decided to take a shortcut, and he put something inside the test tube or the flask in the wrong way and mixed something else with it, and it shattered and sprayed glass over the, probably a 20-foot radius. It showered the people in the front row. No one got hurt, but he was like, oops, sorry about that. He didn't follow the process. He just did something kind of excitedly and haphazardly and actually created danger for so many. If you follow the process, you can turn the most powerful acid, which can melt metal or digest food, hydrochloric acid, what is in your belly, and the most powerful base, which can also dissolve all kinds of things. Huh?
Slow down a little.
Sorry, I get excited. You put them together. If you put them together quickly, these two opposites, just like this, it will create a very dangerous explosion and can burn whoever is in the vicinity. If you do it very slowly, one drop at a time, they call it a buffer solution, means very carefully. And I'll tell you why I'm telling this in a minute. Very carefully, one drop at a time, following that specific process. Not only will you not have any dangerous side effect, but it will end up as a neutral solution, which is literally, chemically, water with table salt. You will end up with salt water. Simply that. With these two powerful opposites, when you mix them together properly, you will end up with something which is usable, basically, which won't hurt you. So our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta, Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja would tell us that when it comes to all of these things, very carefully follow the process, the precepts which have been given to us by our acharyas, and take one step at a time. He said like an inchworm, a caterpillar, you've seen it, has one, it's just a little worm like this, and Gurudev would walk it down his arm. One step firmly planted, then lift the back foot, then put it down, then the next step. He said if you try to jump all at once to the top of the tree, in the process you may fall and break your arms and legs and create so much difficulty for yourself. So he said one step at a time, very carefully, under guidance. We follow what our Guru Varga have given us. We do not cross over them. We do not add or subtract. Just follow what they have done. Because if we try to create our own path, who knows where we will be. Sudevi mentioned in the car the other day, it was the disappearance festival of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. And he said if we veer or venture even 1 micro degree away from the teachings of our transcendental Gurudev, then we can be cast into oblivion forever. So it's so essential to hold on tightly to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. As our Gurudev has said repeatedly and constantly, Guru Nishtha is the backbone of bhakti. What my Gurudev has given, what his Gurudev has given, what our Guru Varga have given, we hold on tightly to that. What do I know about the realm of transcendence? I don't have the eyes to see. I don't have the feet to walk it. I don't know of it. So I'm dependent upon receiving transcendental knowledge from those who have experience of that. And by that mercy, by their mercy, then I can have some idea. I can know something of that. But I cannot jump over them or cross them. I just simply follow. This is our process, to follow the path of those great personalities. So Shri Katyayani Vrat Ki Jai. Now, we will continue with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, verse 2. Before entering into this beautiful transcendental treasure, which is manifested from the heart's vision of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, written down in Padma Purana by Ved Vyas, commented on by Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī in Sanskrit. It's all in here, but it's just a big, long Sanskrit commentary. That commentary has another commentary by our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Very beautiful. And then that commentary has another commentary by our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj. So it has been tasted again and again by the best of all parrots, tasting that sweet fruit. Now in Śrīmad Bhagavatam it says, Nigamakalpataror galikam palam, Shukumukat amrita dravasamyutam. The Śrīmad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature, and it has become even more nectarian, more sweet by being tasted by the lips of Sri Shuka. Means when a parrot touches any fruit, if a parrot bites on a mango, then you will know that mango is the sweetest of all. And somehow it becomes even more sweet. So this has become even more and more sweet by the transcendental darshan and revelation of our Rupanuga Guru Varga. So before entering into this beautiful transcendental treasure and investigating the jewels it has to offer, we will pray in the words of Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam Gosvāmī. Vairāga Juga Bhakti Samprayatnaya Apayana Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripambudiryapaduki Sanātana Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest itself within our hearts. And before continuing with the reading and the study, we will just chant that second verse. Rudantam muhurnitra yugman vrijantam karambho jaju meno shatam kanetram muhushvasakam patrirekhanka kantha stitagraiva damodaram bhaktivadham namami shvaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. So the last time we were discussing this, Srila Gurudev, this is our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahārāja, is bringing up from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. He's bringing all the verses which discuss Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. So that's Canto 10, Chapter 9. It says 15 through 7. Maybe it's, I don't know. Taddāmabadyamanasya svarbhakkasya kritagasah dvangulonam bhuttena sandade nyachcha gopika. When Mother Yashoda tried to bind her mischievous child, the rope was 2 fingers too short. So she added another rope to it. And anyone is welcome to put here, to send in what these 2 fingers mean or what they represent. Let's see if you remember from last time. Yada sittatapi nyunam tenan yad api sandade tadapi dvangulam nyunam yad yad adatabanhanam. However, that also was 2 fingers too short. In this way, each and every time she tied on another rope, it was always 2 fingers short. Very good, Krishna Kripa. Kripa and Cheshta, and good Haripriya, mercy and endeavor. Evam svageha damani Yashoda sandadatyapi. Although she had tied all of the ropes in her home, Mother Yashoda could not bind Krishna. Seeing this, the gopis started giggling. Utterly perplexed, she also began to laugh. So, Mother Yashoda was being slightly mocked for not being able to tie her very small child, who Gurudev said his waist is just the size of your fist, so small, and yet she could not tie him, although she was attaching all of the ropes in Gokul together, one after another. So many for tying the cows, so many. Still, she could not bind him. It was still 2 fingers too short. So our Param Gurudev adds here, the other reason that his belly became bound with rope, Damodaratva, is that Bhakti Badham. He is completely enchanted exclusively by the bhakti of his devotees. Bhakti love and devotion for Krishna has the special capacity to not only attract him, but to control him, to bind him. Who is it that said? Bilva Mangal Thakur. I believe it's Bilva Mangal Thakur. He says, Braje prasidam namanita choram, choranga ganyam chadukula choram, aneka janmarjita papa choram, choranga ganyam purusham namami. He's saying that I will bind you within the prison of my heart. And because you are in the prison of my heart, I will never let you go. Who can bind Krishna within the prison of their heart? Only that person who has pure love for Krishna that is so great that Krishna will not want to go anywhere else. Tomar hriday sada Govinda Vishram. O Vaishnava Thakur, within your heart, Govinda is always residing there. And Krishna himself, he's saying, Mama Vaishnava Paran, my devotees, they are my life and soul. I don't know anyone but my devotees, and they do not know anyone but me. I don't reside in Vaikuntha, I don't reside in the hearts of the yogis, but where my devotees are glorifying my names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, I reside there. So really, the heart of the Vaishnava, that is where Krishna resides. And that is because love and devotion conquers he who is otherwise unconquerable. Anyone who can post that shlok gets 1,000 points. Who is otherwise unconquerable. How can he be conquered? So, he is completely enchanted exclusively by the bhakti of his devotees. This meaning actually leads to the previous one, that he becomes bound because of his bhakta vashyata, his willingness to be controlled by his devotees. So we hear both of these ideas. One is his willingness, and the other one is by their love. So sometimes it's by his acceptance. Of course he must accept it, but this has already been preordained. Yogamaya knows that Krishna's nature is to be bound by the love and affection of his devotees. And so her function is to make sure that all of his inherent desires are fulfilled. So in regard to this, Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:9-18-21 further states, Svamatu svinnagatraya visrasta kavarashraja drishtva parishramam Krishna kripaya sit svabandhane. She had become exhausted by tying so many ropes together, and her body had become covered with perspiration. So Mother Yashoda was tying so many together and struggling to bind her son, so much so that her hair was becoming loose, the flowers were falling out, her clothes were becoming loose, she was perspiring. She was making a very strong, ardent endeavor that I must bind my son. I must do this. I cannot and will not stop, even if it takes my whole life. Oh, the flowers woven into her hair had fallen from her loosened braid and had scattered here and there. So she made this firm resolution. Do or die. Means I must do it no matter what. I will not give up. I swear to Nārāyaṇa that I will not give up until I bind my son. So she also had this intense, unbreakable conviction. And this was for the benefit of Krishna. So Śrīmad Bhagavatam continues, seeing his mother's fatigue and feeling compassionate, little Krishna then allowed his mother to bind him. Now here you hear this word allowed. Was it Krishna who allowed directly? Or was it through the medium of his Shakti? This we will hear afterward. evam sandarshita hyanga harina bhaktavashyata svavashenapi krishnena yasyedam se sheshvaram vashe. O Mahārāja Parikshit, this entire universe, along with the powerful demigods who control it, is completely under the control of the supremely independent personality of Godhead, Sri Hari. Yet he has allowed himself to be bound in order to show that he is willingly controlled by his devotees. Nemam virincho na bhavo nashir apyanga sangshraya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who bestows salvation upon all, never showed Lord Brahma, Maheshwar Shiva, or even his eternal consort Lakshmi Devi, who was half of his body, the kindness he showed the Gopi Yashoda. Nayam sukapa bhagavan dehinam gopika suta jnaninam chakma bhutanam yata bhaktim matamiha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of a Gopi, Gopika Sutta, is not at all easy to attain for the Ashtanga yogis, who identify themselves with the body and who perform severe austerities. Nor is he easy to attain for self-realized jnanis, who are absorbed in all-pervading non-dual knowledge. But these loving associates, who are absorbed in serving him, simply considering him to be the darling son of a gopi, have easily attained him. In other words, although the ascetics and impersonalists undergo great trouble, instead of attaining the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, they merely attain an incomplete or partial expansion of him. So in here, we are seeing Shukadeva Goswami speaking to Sri Parikshit Maharaj. And there are thousands and millions of rishis here, of all different natures. So we need to understand context as well. Śrīmad Bhagavatam is the spotless evidence, pramanam amalam. This is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But within that, depending on the bhav of the person looking at it, the mood, they will be tasting it differently. In the same way that Krishna or Bhagavan is one, but according to the bhav of the devotee, he manifests accordingly. So the Krishna of Prahlad Maharaj is not the same as the Krishna of Srimati Radhika. She is seeing Rajendranandan Shyamasundar, Sakshat Manmataha, Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Abhishek, the most beautiful, charming aspect, because her love is so complete. It is the highest. So she's seeing that aspect of Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj, he's seeing, well, he's worshipping Krishna, Matirna Krishna. He's using this word Krishna. But Krishna manifested in a very beautiful form. He was not worshipping Narasimhadev Bhagavan. He was worshipping Vishnu. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. He was worshipping Vishnu. And one of the names for this Vishnu is Krishna. If you see the Vishnu avatars that Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanātana Gosvāmī. But that Lord appeared in such a ferocious form to protect him and to destroy the demons. And Prahlad was seeing this, and everyone was seeing for the first time. That's why Lord Shiva would not go forward. Lord Brahma would not go forward. Indra, no one else would go forward. They told Lakshmi, he's your husband, go forward. She said, I've never seen my husband looking like this before. No. Then they told Prahlad, you go. Prahlad went immediately, fearlessly. Narasimhadev picked him up, put him on his lap, gave him so much affection. And Prahlad offered beautiful prayers. But that form of the Lord is that special manifestation of protecting the young innocent child Prahlad. So this is a different forms according to the bhav, the mood of the devotee. So I was mentioning it in terms of these Brajavasis who are serving and loving Krishna. And I was telling you because Parikshit Mahārāja is asking the question and all of these sages are listening to Shukadeva Goswami. So according to their bhav, they're listening, their mood. There's so much Aishwarya Gyan, means knowledge of the opulence of the Absolute and understanding that Krishna of Vrindavan is this supreme absolute truth, Yam Mitram Paramanandam Purna Brahma Sanatana. Then they're seeing the pastimes of Krishna